Namaste, my dearest sisters and brothers on earth, ground crew. Thank you for existing. Thank you for joining me tonight here, or whatever is the time that you're watching this. Thank you. Thank you for connecting with me. Let's talk astral projection. As you might know, that's one of those topics that I'm extremely passionate about. Astral projection. You enter another dimension in your astral body, in your vehicle, as all bodies are vehicles for consciousness. Your astral body is a vehicle for you in the astrals. So there are many different astral planes. As what resonates with me is that there are like 7 subplanes to the astrals, but basically they are different vibrational ranges within the astral plane. Once you're out of your physical body, once you're in the astral planes, you can tune yourself higher and higher and higher. That is easy there. And I mean, you can surf realities. It's like reality transurfing. I heard there's a book called that. I think I want to read that. But anyway, you can tune yourself to higher and higher astral planes. And I remember when I'm in the highest planes that I can remember now, I project myself even higher, that I would call probably the mental planes. I haven't studied about them, I just know that I go somewhere extremely, extremely high, and then I remember the moment when I return to the astrals, but I don't remember at this moment or at this point in my physical body. I don't access the information of the highest planes that I visit. It's like I just go higher, and then I return to the astrals, like da-da-da-da-da-dum, and then I return da-da-da-da-da-dum, and before I wake up in the morning, I am on the astral planes that are very close to this one, that are very similar to this one. But I mean, it's different on different nights. Like one night I feel like I was conscious all night in the 4th dimension, like the human astral planes, like maybe they call it the 3rd astral plane or 6th, I don't know, I'm not sure. But what I know is that I was fully conscious of this one as well. And that's very common for me already these days. I feel that when I enter the astrals, I am holding consciousness of the physical as well, because usually what happens is that in the astrals you live your astral travels, your astral lives, but you're unconscious of the physical. You're not really thinking about the dimension you're in, you're not questioning anything, you're just going with the flow, doing stuff, meeting people, meeting beings, all of that, but you're not conscious of, you know, that you're in another dimension. And for me, the work I do in the astrals, because I feel that in the astrals I do a lot of work, is I teach the people about multidimensionality, about the physical plane, about other planes of existence, because most of the time when I'm in the human astral planes, like, I mean, when I say human astral planes, I mean, of course there are humans in all astral planes, but I mean realities that are very close to this one, that are like, you know, cities, people, lots of people, so many people in different places. One night I was at this station, I don't know how to describe that, but it resembled like a huge, like something between like a railway station and like airport, something in between of that. There were lots and lots of people, and they were asking, where are we? Where are we? I don't know, like no one knows, where are we? And then I said, we are in an astral plane, we are in 4th dimension. And I mean, that was very confusing to many people, because they are used to, you know, only knowing of the physical maybe. Or I had a vibe that, you know, some of those people are dreamers, and some of those people have actually died in the physical and now they are there, and it's like, it was like a place from where people, you know, go somewhere from that place, but like certainly a very centered place in the astrals where a lot of, yeah, souls go to. Same night I met my grandfather, who passed away like a month ago. And that was the first time I met him in the astrals, and it was very real. I couldn't tell a difference. I only knew that he looked much better than he did physically. Because when he physically was about to die, you know, he was very weak. He was, like, his body didn't even look the same it used to, and he was very, like, skinny and just sick, you know. But in the astrals, he looks a little bit younger than what I was used to seeing him. It was him. It was him. I remember so clearly, like, the feeling of hugging him and then looking at my body and looking at his body and being like, oh yeah, we truly are in another dimension. Yeah, this is so similar. This is like the same. It's like just one step less than reality, fourth dimension. I remember talking a long time with him. That reality is more familiar to me than this one, much more familiar to me than this one, as I feel like from there and, you know, up, I have spent much more lifetimes in elsewhere, in higher dimensions, in non-physical planes, as I feel that this physical plane is, I mean, it's a very specific type of a reality experience, a specific type of a creation game. The other night I was astral projecting when, I mean, I was still in Cape Verde, and I was laying on my bed and I started to hear voices. I started to hear sounds, like people are speaking in my apartment. Like, I actually thought that someone is robbing my apartment, because, I mean, it was so tripping, because I felt like it was so loud in a way, and then I couldn't move physically. I realized I was paralyzed, and there I am, my body is going like this. Usually always before I leave my body is paralyzed and I'm vibrating like this. Then eventually I lift up. Oh yes, there I am in that other dimension. Often for a little while my sight goes off. I don't see anything, like I see blindly, or I see very little bit, like this amount, and then eventually I see very clearly, very clearly. And I saw that things were a bit different, like just the furniture and the colors were a little bit different, and there were people. I heard these sounds, I felt these presences, like just this feeling of presence is huge, because on the astral planes you feel so much more, or I mean, you're so much more than always sensitive. So then this man came, and he took me, like, we started walking up the stairs, we walked to some other apartment, and what was interesting was that actually it felt like he knew me, but I didn't, like, at this point I was not able to recognize him, but it was as if he had been waiting for me. Then we flew up to this kind of observation tower. It was so high, higher than any observation tower in the physical. It was so insanely high, and then we were there looking down at the earth again. He took my hand, we held our hands like this. He looked at me and he was like smiling all the time or something, or it was like a very nice vibe. But then he was like, jump, and I didn't jump, and then he like took my hands and then he held me with my hands, and I was like there. And then there I was falling, but not like, you know, in the same way as you would fall in the physical. I just ended up flying around a lot, just flying, because I love flying. I can't put into words how much I love flying. But yes, what happens often is that I just end up in some time. It's not necessarily the same time as in the physical. I mean, the time is very different in the astral planes. I want to learn to master astral projection so that I can actually project myself anytime, to any age that I want to any year that I want to any place that I want to. And I know that it's possible, and I mean, I'm just a beginner. I'm just learning more every time when I project. Basically, how you want to astral project, you want to get your body into a paralyzed state and then like that's it. There are many ways to induce that, also just by breathing very intensely, like without breaks, then you paralyze your body and then you can leave. But I don't usually do that. Usually I actually breathe very slowly to calm my body down, because anything that calms your body down will help you. You want to be a parasympathetic nervous system state, and you want to forget about the physical fully. Like, let go of all physical things. Don't think too much. I mean, don't really think. That's my hack, because I remember when I first practiced astral projection, I was thinking too much and I was stopping myself, because when I would get into the vibrational state, I would be too excited. If you are too excited, if you are too attached to the outcome, it won't happen, or it's probably not going to happen, because you react too strongly. You don't want to have any reaction in your physical body. You just want your physical body to be sleeping. That's it. You want your body to fall asleep, but you want your consciousness to stay awake. And when you are awake and your body is, your breath goes automatic, you see your body is like falling asleep, then eventually, at least for me, I get this white light. I might hear all these sounds. I start hear all these astral sounds as well. Like I've said many times, I hear people speaking in my room. Also, like that's been a common thing already. Like I feel like there's so many people in my room. And I feel these presences and all of that. But then I might also feel these weird noises, like zzz, or very high pitched sounds or something like that. And then all I think is lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. And I mean, I don't even think that, I just do that. I just do that. My mind is empty until I'm fully outside of the body. It's like my mind is completely silent. All I do is I focus on my center point, and I just think that this is normal. I just think that, oh, this I do every night. Because in the beginning it was so new or crazy or something that I was stopping it from happening, because I was, reacting too strongly. You just want to be neutral about it. You just want to be like, oh, okay, now this happens. It's normal. I'm just leaving my body. I'm just leaving my physical body. And then you're out. And trust me, that is very natural. That is very normal to humans. Astral projection is very, very natural. It was something that we are meant to do, and that most of us do, but we might just not be conscious of that. It's just, we visit so many different realities, and some of them are mostly just our creation. I mean, we create them like this, but then there are these astral worlds that are really like there, or that are, accessed by many, many people and beings from other places, other star systems. Like, everything that makes your body falls asleep might help you. And also, like, third eye activation practices. And what I felt helped me a lot was I was listening to DMT frequencies one night, and that's so tripping, because I mean, DMT, that helps you project very much. And just frequencies, I think listening to certain frequencies will just allow you to project easily, very easily. It's like music holds so much power. Music tunes us a lot, activates certain parts of our brain, and that's all it is about. That's all, being in a high state of consciousness is about. It's activating your brain, the potential in your body as a human, high consciousness, galactic human. I mean, I gotta say that in the beginning, when I was trying to project with binaural beats, it interfered with my projection, because when I was hearing physically something, it was keeping me in my physical body. And that's why I don't use, like, while I project, I don't use anything that stimulates any of my physical senses, because I don't want to be aware of this dimension. That's the point. You don't want to be aware of this one, because your consciousness is non-local. Your consciousness is not trapped in your body. Your consciousness is able to, shift to higher plane, astral plane, naturally, when you are not looking and thinking and perceiving of the physical plane. With astral projection, it's just patience and practice and trust Know that it's natural. Know that you can do it. You can do it. I promise that you can do it. I promise. I promise. I promise. But just don't be too attached to the outcome. And also what helps a lot is projecting in the middle of the night. It helps. So yeah, explore the astrals, my love. Explore the astrals and share with me your experiences. It's truly so cool, and one of the big reasons why I am so much into astral projection is because it reminds you of the multidimensionality of the universe. It reminds you of how temporary this plane also is. And for me, from my perspective, astral projection is a great cure or something that helps with, let's say, depression, because you don't get fed up with the physical when you are able to be elsewhere as well. When you are elsewhere and then you're in the physical, it's like, oh, you're experiencing different ways to be, different ways to exist. You're experiencing different planes, and it's so expanding, it's so beautiful, it's such a privilege to be in the physical plane after being in the astral planes. And it's also reminding you of, nothing ends. Like when you die physically, it's not that big of a deal. It's like you leave your body, you won't return here, but you will be in the astrals. You will know already what's gonna happen when you die. There really is no limit, only the limit that you set by yourself. You set yourself, as I have said many times. That applies also to astral projection, definitely, because you can always go higher. It all depends on your vibration. And one thing I recommend never to astral project if you're in a low vibrational state, because you don't want to end up in those worlds. You don't want to go to those low vibrational astral planes. You only want to go to the higher vibrational astral planes, as there is enjoyable. It's the same in the physical. You don't want to vibrate low, because that's hell. I mean, there's hell in the physical, there's hell in the astral. There's heaven in the physical, there's heaven in the astral. They are only vibrational states of being. Yes, but expand yourself, expand your consciousness. For me, what I feel very, very passionate about is helping people find their true potential as humans, activating this galactic consciousness in you. Like, you are a galactic human. You can activate your DNA, you can access so much more of your potential. That's all encoded in you. And that's what I wish to remind you of. You're not trapped here. This is only one reality. The matrix in this reality wants you to believe that this is the only reality. This is only real thing in existence. Believe everything we say and give away your power. No, the power is always in you, and you can shift between realities if you wish to, because you're a multidimensional being, which you know very well deep down. When you open yourself up to that awareness is in you. Astral projection is one of your many, many, many abilities, and you can unlock them if you so choose. That just takes dedication and courage and, clearing the old programming away, because that's all that's ever truly limiting you. Don't limit yourself, and you are limitless. That's how simple it truly is. When you trust and allow yourself to experience, acknowledge your true self, your higher self, your higher consciousness. I love you. Discover your potential. My love, thank you for existing. I'm truly grateful that you are there. I cannot put into words how grateful I am to connect with you right now, in this now, on this physical plane, in this vibration. To meet this energy, feel this energy. Remember who you truly are. I'm transferring you this. I'm transferring you this. Amen. Namaste. Allow yourself to be limitless.